nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Our next item on the agenda, I'm going to direct that item to Dr. Sachs.
Thank you, Madam President. We're going to move things around just a little bit with our special celebrations. And I'd like to ask Mr. Boggs to come forward. Mr. Boggs? Oh, he had to step out.
Did he go out?
He went out, but that's okay.
Well-
But I am going to actually ask, I'm going to do a little snippet here. We are so excited to be able to have two special guests with us this evening. We have curator for the West Virginia Department of the Arts, Culture, and History, Mr. Randall Reed Smith, who is a true friend to Cabell County.
Yay.
Oh, there's Mr. Boggs. Mr. Boggs, you're up. So we're sort of out of sequence, but we're going to start with you with the facilities grant.
Okay, my apologies. Had a copier jam on me,
It's all right.
so I had to run upstairs. Madam Board President, board members, and Superintendent Sachs, I am very pleased to be able to talk to you guys about the Cultural Facilities and Capital Resources Grant. And we've got some special guests. I heard you already introduce Curator Randall Reed Smith, but we will absolutely introduce him again. I will tell you this, he is definitely a friend of Cabell County and people across the state. Barbersville. I know that that hometown is very important. But we're very, very happy to have him here today to be able to award the Cultural Facilities and Capital Resource Grant for Barbersville Middle School. And this is in collaboration with Mayor Tatum here at Barbersville. And I'm going to have them come up here in just a moment. And this is a really exciting opportunity for the county, because what this grant will do will provide some updates to the auditorium at Barbersville Middle School. And these updates would include new screens to allow them to project, whether it be for performances or choir events that are going on, or if Barbersville is going, or the town is going to be able to do some professional development as well, whether it be for the police officers or family movie nights and different things like that, to really be able to promote the arts here within the county, and it can be utilized that way. So before I have them, the mayor come up and Mr. Reed Smith come up, I want to I wasn't able to scan the room, but is Patty Ball here? Was she able to make it?
I don't see her.
Okay, Patty Ball is the choir director, if you're not familiar with her, at Barbersville Middle School. And I know we've got Dustin Ofield as well, who is here. Raise your hand there, Dustin. They were instrumental, and especially Patty was instrumental in writing this grant. Now, Patty is a nationally board certified teacher, and she said that this grant application was extremely, I'm not going to say difficult, but it was very, very long process, but she did a wonderful job. And Randall, I do believe that they scored very high on this grant. Is that correct?
Second highest.
The second highest in the state of West Virginia.
Wow.
So we appreciate the music department and Dustin for being able to put the time into the application for that. But it's a really good opportunity. And Miss Smith, Principal Carrie Smith, was going to be here tonight, but she is actually on vacation. So she wanted me to just, congratulate the school as well. Otherwise, she would have been here. So Randall Reed Smith, if you don't care to come up here and be able to present the check, and then we will have the mayor say some words as well and present a check to the school for that. Well, I tell you what. Hey, Dustin, since you're the representative for the school, if you don't care to come up, you want to go ahead and come on up?
So the Cultural Facilities Grant is a program that only 13 states in the country have. I'm sorry, Madam President, I need you around
We can
here.
hear you.
Okay, and it is brick and mortar mostly, anything that has to do with performing arts facilities and cultural facilities. So we're very fortunate that, when I started over, we couldn't fund schools because you could not fund other state agencies. So we got the code change that we could fund state to state, which included schools. And then we started funding school projects that dealt with the arts. And I was up visiting at Barbersville when I went to see their History Bowl team. Oh, girl, we're gonna send this somewhere else.
Oh,
You gotta come up here. We're actually presenting the check, so you have to.
And so, I was at the school and I was talking to Justin, and they needed some updates to the auditorium, and it's a matching grant. So, at that time, I thought it was gonna be $20,000, but Patty Ball has expensive taste. And so we went up to almost 29,000. Well, okay. Yeah, because she needed 2 screens instead of 1, but she got it. And so the mayor gave me 10,000. So Ryan, you owe me $4,916 out of the, a great project. So here you go, Patty Ball, and it was an excellent grant. It was the second highest scoring in the state. We had about 30 grants, and we awarded 14 grants. And so you got actually all the money you could get from us. So do y'all want to come down and get a picture?
well, yeah, we would, yes,
Oh, I
absolutely.
forget, you all have a way to do it. Okay.
Yep.
Here we go. Mayor, get up here, you help me. And the thing that's great about this, Barbersville will have its own movie theater now. And when we do, we can do stuff for the community, and the mayor does some outdoor films at the park, and this will be a rain destination in case we have to have that.
Hey,
Okay, Mayor?
Tim, Mr. Hardesty, let's go ahead and, Mr. Hardesty, let's go ahead and move the podium, and then we can go ahead and have the board members come up for this picture since the mayor may need to leave, so we'll go ahead and come on up.
We're going
We'll go ahead
down.
and go up, well, yeah, we can just go up to the railing and have them come back.
Let's start the brief, Mayor.
I'll be brief. I didn't really want to say much, but this is another opportunity for us to work together with the Board of Education. So when Randall approached us, board members, this was an easy yes for us because it's a great community project. It will be fantastic for our students and for the community for a variety of reasons. Law enforcement training can be held there. We can do rain dates for our outdoor movie nights and a variety of other things. So this check was an easy yes on behalf of the city. We're glad to give you guys the money to match this grant. So thank you guys for the opportunity to work together again.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Ms. Ball, I have something for you. Ms. Ball, this is for writing the grant. We want to congratulate the superintendent. Thank you for taking that initiative and working with the state and
Number one, if I would have had more time, because I was given to very late, but if I would have been given, I would have already I did everything I was told. Well done. Yes, I do have expensive taste. That's how I manage it.
I was standing there watching it.
I wasn't good enough to be on the school. I mean, I wasn't good enough to be on the school team, but I still had fun. playing
Yes,
football.
absolutely, absolutely, yes, ma'am.
You know where they have to let you play because your kids paid? That's what I got to do.
Yeah.
They had to let me on the team.
Let's go ahead and do the Huntington East, and then we'll go to sports.
Okay, we really started out with, that was a good way to start our meeting, Dr. Sachs,
Yep.
wasn't it? Board members, getting that check, so appreciative. But now we're down to the items on the agenda. And we have celebrations. And the first one is the 2021 Class AA Girls Softball Championship, Cabell Midland High School.
Triple A.
We're gonna, Herman, hey, Herman, Mr. Beckett or Herman, sit down just 1 second, because we got a way we do things, and we're gonna get the pictures in just a minute. So hold on, AAA winners. We'll be right there. Okay, Jody, Mr. Cunningham.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. President Neely, board members, Superintendent Sachs, as you had just introduced, the state AAA girls softball champions of Cabell Midland High School for the school year of 2021 for this spring are, of course, Cabell Midland Knights. And I believe we have 3 of the coaches here. I know they have 5 altogether. Coach Herman Beckett, Coach Howard, Coach Hutchinson, and I'm not sure if I missed one of the coaches when I was scanning the room. So those are the coaches that are currently here with us right now. I don't know all the players, so I'm going to let the coaches introduce
Very
their
well.
players.
Okay.
I've seen some of these girls in the hallway, but I really don't know them, so I'll let
Well,
the coaches
that's
do it.
fine. Okay. You come up, Mr. Beckett, it's your turn. We'll let you announce the names of the ladies. Oh, my goodness, such beautiful girls.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right there. Okay,
They call your name, please come up here and right up front.
we want to thank you all for all that you all have done for us in the last 2 years. We have probably procured from Cabell County Board of Education about $120,000 to upgrade our bleachers, handicap accessibility. And for that, I want to thank you all for that, and also with the field work that we have gotten done. And there's a couple of people that I'd like to thank, besides the coaches. I got Selena Lucas back there. She has done one whale of a job in the 3 years that we got to play. She has procured $78,000 for our program, and that's not. And the other thing that I'd like to do that normally get overlooked are our parents. They do a lot of driving in the summer. They give up their vacations, and they give up a whole lot of their money. But as you can see, this year, it really paid off. These girls overcome a lot, and we had a problem or two, but we overcame it. At the end of the season, the last 2 weeks, there was not a better team in the state. In fact, we could play with anybody in this country right now, and I go out on them saying that. And our 3 seniors, I'll give their names, and then I'll let Dave finish up the rest of them, because those 2 gentlemen have been with me every step of the way. And Riley Lucas, come on up. She has, by the way, every senior since I've been the head coach at Cabell Midland High School has gotten a scholarship or gotten an offer. These 3 right here are no different. Riley is going to go to Marshall.
All right.
Yep, and play. All 3 of these girls will get somebody going to play softball. Okay, Olivia Pelfrey, she's going to play at the University of Charleston.
All right.
Simone Blanks, she's going almost out of state, but she's still in state. She's going to go to Potomac State College, university. All right, Dave, come in here and we'll let you announce the rest of them. Yeah, go with it. You're loud enough anyway, you don't need one.
I need it up here. All right, next we have Haley Rowe.
Maddie McCon. Maddie Meadows. Jess Terry. Quinn Ballingy. Emma Chapman. Andy Stevens. Michaela Baker. Hayden Hicks. Allie Messinger. Addie Purdue. KK Wallace. And we got one girl out of town, and that is Jenna Dorsey.
Well, I want to congratulate these young athletes for your excellence both on the field and off the field this school year. I think that you have been able to show a tremendous amount of tenacity, hard work, and perseverance in the face of all that we've had this school year during your practices, your seasons, but to then come out on top as the West Virginia State AAA champions is awesome. And I know that I am proud of you, this board is proud of you, and so is all of Cabell County. So congratulations, ladies, you've earned it.
Congratulations.
We also got some honors for some of the girls, made All-State, Riley, Olivia, and Jess Terry. Where you at, Jess? Jess Terry. And they done an exceptional job to be recognized for that. They owned the state this year when push comes to shove at the end of the season. And I personally want to thank them.
Well, we are very, very proud of these young ladies. We really can't say it enough. I mean, this is a product of Cabell County Schools. And as a board, we are so proud to have each and every one of you a champion.
Well,
So
thank you very much.
congratulations, and the coaches too, Mr. Beckett and the two other coaches. I'm sorry, I don't know your names.
Dave and Dave.
Okay. We appreciate all the hard work that it takes to get to this level, and we know that it takes a lot of hard work. And through everything that we went through this year with the pandemic, I mean, it's just amazing that you're champion, AAA champions, and congratulations again. I'm running out of words to express myself, but I am so proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
The girls I know are proud of the job they did. And like I said, once again, I would like to thank the parents because they put so much
Right.
time and money and travel with these young ladies.
Okay, I think.
Thank you.
Wait a minute,
Okay.
wait a minute, Herman.
Okay.
Don't you have some gals that made MSAC, all conference?
Yes, we do.
I want to know who they are.
Where you at, Riley? Stand up. Okay.
Hold your hand up, wait, five.
There she.
Simone
See who all they are.
and
We are.
Quinn.
All right.
Haley. I was counting, there's 6 of them. That's the 6 of us.
And didn't you have somebody second team All-State and honorable mention All-State too?
Yes.
Let's recognize them.
Yeah. She's not here, Jenna Dorsey.
Okay, Quinn,
Yep,
she's honorable mention.
yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Congratulations.
Everything like that needs to be mentioned.
Wait, very good, and
It's
I
a
apologize for
tremendous
that.
accomplishment. Obviously, I read the sports page.
I wasn't ready for a speech either.
Are we ready for pictures?
Well, I was going to say, Madam President, however the board would like to do this, we have obviously the girls up here now. We could do their pictures. We have another couple big groups, so we could do it at the end or we could do it now. What would your?
Why don't we just do it at the end so we don't
Okay.
have to go back and forth?
Okay, so if ladies, you could just hang tight.
It won't take us that much longer.
We have another couple groups, and then at the end we'll do everybody's pictures,
We'll take
and
it
we'll
up.
ask you to come back up. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Okay.
So beautiful.
Um, Our next, our next is the 2021 Class AAA Girls State Tennis Championship, Huntington High School.
Madam President, as you stated, we've been very blessed this year with our academic and our athletic accomplishments. Another state champion on the other end of the county, on Huntington, we have our girls. And I am going to bring up Coach Mark Hicks. He's the head girls tennis coach, and I'm going to have him introduce his girls that were part of the state title champion team.
Hi, how are y'all doing?
We are doing wonderful.
That's good. Unfortunately, a lot of the girls aren't here. A lot of them are out of town, but I want me to announce the ones that aren't here too, or? Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, I have our number one singles player was Cece Weiler. She's not here right now, but was actually named for the third time as an all-state award winner. Wow. She got to I believe this year, the semifinals in singles and semifinals in doubles in the state tournament. And then we have Molly Archer going up on.
Oh,
she is our number two player, our number two singles. She was another all-state award winner, and she made the finals in singles and the semifinals in doubles as well.
excellent.
And then we have Tess Weiler. She's not here right now, but was a state trying to get all the numbers right. She won the number three title at number three singles state championship. Sorry, and she also made the semifinals in doubles as well. And then we have Sophie Agrawal. She was another state champion at number four singles. And then the other ones that aren't here are, trying to remember everybody. Sorry. We had Reagan Hutchison, Gabby Hill, Alexandra Biddle, Carter Sargent, and Ava Garmasani as well. Yeah. So our girls, they worked really hard this year. They were kind of underdogs all year long, but they absolutely just went to work every single day, and they carried themselves in a way that I think our whole county can be proud of them. So I know I am. It was amazing. So.
Well, we are very, very proud of these girls too. And I'll be repeating myself saying that under the circumstances that we had with the pandemic and all, we look at where we're at.
Yes.
And it makes me proud to be not just president of the Board of Education, being in Cabell County, because we have the best teachers, coaches, whatever. We've got them here in Cabell County, and it shows.
Yep.
Because we do celebrations almost every meeting, so I'm really very proud.
Yeah. Well, I am too.
So we have another presentation after.
We do. Mr. Cunningham has several more. Yep. So just a few more, and it's all tennis. So
as Coach Hicks was saying, Sophie was our number 4 state winner. So they go by, there's 4 seeds in singles. You have a singles 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sophie was our number 4 for the state of West Virginia. But we also have in the room our number 1 state winner, and she comes from Cabell Midland High School, and that is Hanley Reiner.
She's not here.
I misspoke. I thought she was here. But Coach Harmon, the girls' tennis team and boys' tennis team coach for Cabell Midland, is here. Would you like to come up and introduce your players that made state champions?
And we were like the other teams. We had about 11 players in the finals of the state tournament, boys and girls this year. But they all were strong. Our number one player was Hanley Reiner. Like I said, she's in Florida right now. She was the number one. She won the Class AAA Singles Championship for the number one singles, and she also was on the All-State team. And then in the room, we have our number one boys doubles team, Aiden Cottrell and Alex Cottrell.
Wonderful brothers.
Where are they taking?
These gentlemen also were on the All-MAC team, and Aiden was on the All-State team for singles this year as well.
Wonderful, wonderful.
They played
Proud
very
of
well.
them. Yeah, very proud of these youngsters, very proud.
But we had a really good season. Their brother, they have a brother. Stand up for a second, Ashton.
Well, of course.
Ashton was, but Ashton came in second right along with them. But they all played really, really well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
If we would have been down in Charleston when they were in the States this year, you would have seen in the championship or semifinals of every match a Cabell County representative. It was pretty impressive. We have one last one that I haven't introduced yet from Huntington High, and that's on the boys' side. Just like Hanley, who's in Florida right now, she was the number one girl in the state. We have from the boys' side, the number one boy in the state is A.J. Mercer from Huntington High School. And I'm not sure I don't believe he's here.
Well, let's clap anyway.
And some of you board members have heard his name before. Mercer, he has two older siblings that have been down here and been acclimated with state championships too. Pretty talented family. So with all that, that is all of our tennis winners for the year, and it was an excellent, excellent season from boys and girls from both Cabell, Midland, and Huntington High. Very proud to get to be their director to watch these kids play sports at the high school level.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Cunningham.
Thank you, Mr. Cunningham.
Okay, we want to start with
Well,
the
we have one more presentation,
sorry.
if you don't mind.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I'm going to have Mr. Boggs come back up for another. It's actually another grant that is going to benefit our school district. And so, Mr. Boggs.
Yes, thank you. It's not every day that Randall Reed Smith gets to come to Cabell County, and when he visits Cabell County, he comes with a lot of checks. Yeah, well, that's true. You do. You live in Barbersville, right? That's right. Okay, just making sure. But he came with a lot of checks. But so this grant is a Save the Music Foundation grant. Huntington East Middle School was one of 8 middle schools in West Virginia that has been awarded the 2022 Save the Music Foundation grant in the amount of $40,000. The grant will provide free instruments, free instructional materials, 36 free music stands, and stand holder for each of the free clinics for the band director. And the Save the Music program currently operates in 112 West Virginia middle schools in all 55 counties, and this is with VH1 Save the Music grant, and we are very, very proud that Cabell County schools, all 4 of the middle schools, have now been funded through this, and we are very excited about that. And we've got some special guests, and I'll have Randall Reed come up here in just a moment, but we've got in the room, and I would like him to come up here as well, we've got Mr. Nathan Kerr. Go ahead and come on up here, Mr. Kerr. And then we have a couple representatives from Huntington East Middle School. We've got Dawn Pennington is here as well, and one of the assistant principals. And then we've got currently as an academic, well, she's on the agenda tonight, but Dr. Leanne Porter, if you'd raise your hand there. She as well is here tonight. If you want to go ahead and come on up, you're technically already at the school anyways, in the position that you're at.
Yeah.
She's transferring. But I will tell you one thing about Mr. Kerr. When I started my career in Cabell County back in 2005, Mr. Kerr is the band director. This guy does an amazing job, and if you, I know we've got a former band director in the room as well, but I will tell you, what Nathan has done with, what he does with these students and what a middle school band director does from students that come in not knowing how to play an instrument, not knowing how to read music or anything, and what they sound like in the 8th grade is absolutely amazing. And what that does for our high school programs and into the feeder programs is absolutely wonderful. And one thing unique about Huntington East Middle School is they have a jazz band. And if you have never had the opportunity to hear the jazz band, they are, I would put them up against absolutely anybody. But he is a wonderful employee to the county, and we are very blessed to have Mr. Kerr, and I was very blessed to be able to work with him for several years as a teacher, and he does a wonderful job. So, Mr. Reed Smith, I'm going to have you come on up and present the check and say a few more words if you would like.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Justin. Justin's great. I know Justin from when he was an assistant principal at Cabell Midland High School, and he's just been a great friend. And now we've completed all 4 middle schools with this grant program. We started it 11 years ago. I need to thank my boss. This is my 3rd governor, and it's the 1st governor I've had that did a press release, a press conference actually on the new schools. VH1 is in 120 schools in the state. That's $4,800,000 worth of free instruments in the state of West Virginia. And the governor, we did a survey on this, a case study that VH1 did, and we had a 98% return from school superintendents. That means one didn't do it, and they won't tell me who it was because they know.
I did it.
I know you did. I know you did. And all your band directors did, and so did all your principals. But the governor, the best thing that he did this year, and I remember very well when you talk about the pandemic, and I got a call, and he said, "Randall, who says we can't have marching bands at football games?" And I said, "Well, Governor," I said, "you know, it must be you. The WVSSAC's underneath you. They didn't talk to me about it." And I said, "Well," I said, "what do you need me to do?" And he said, "Well, if we're going to have football, we're going to have marching band. Because, you know, I have to tell you all this all the time. God only made football so we could have a halftime show." And that is absolutely correct. And we're very proud of our marching bands in Cabell County. How's that? Especially the Marching Knights, who are 9-time consecutive and current reigning West Virginia state champions. That's right. So, and then the other person I want to thank is Rhonda Smalley. When I came back after being away for so long from West Virginia, and I wanted to get involved in my community, and she said to me, "Randy, once in band, always in band." And I really appreciate that, Rhonda, and everything you did for our end of the county. I really, really appreciate that.
I worked on both ends of the county, Randy.
Well,
She was
if you
everywhere.
grow
I
up
was
in
everywhere.
Cabell County, you know
I was.
the different, you know what the word disparity means. So I'm very, very proud of where I come from, and I'll do anything for any kid, even west of Russell Creek. So this will go to Mr. Nathan Kerr, who is a fabulous band director, and we will help you. The money's already there. You just have to fill out the application in March. But here you go. Thanks.
Now we can do pictures.
Okay, you want to start with the,
Let's
start with the girls?
Let's start with our girls softball champions. So, ladies, if you and your coaches could come forward, come up to, and then we'll have our photographer. She'll set you the way that she needs for the picture. And I have coins for each lady and the coaches. So be sure to get one before you take off after the picture. Or maybe I can hand them out real quick.
You smell pretty too.
That's right.
Looking good, all right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's take another. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
I think they've done that pose before.
They kind of felt that they liked it.
Congratulations. Huntington High tennis.
Thank you. And I forgot to show you all earlier, but I want to thank you all with the tennis courts that we have in Midland as well. Every team in the state we play, they can't make continuity of this thing. Said they're the best in the state, so thank you all very much. Thank you. They're great. Ours are good. I mean, they are
Alright, ready? 3, 2, 1. Take one more. Finish one. Hi, baby.
It was, I think, yeah, AJ. It was the test wheeler and Sophie.
yeah, Sophie's here, Tess is, and then,
So we've already got it. Yeah, okay, very good. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, boys.
They're just beginning like they want to. Oh, look. She's so
Alright, 3, 2, 1. One more. That might be my favorite. Yeah. Okay. Alright, ready? 3, 2, 1. Can we do one more picture with all the brothers? Alright, ready? 3, 2, 1. One more. Thank you, guys.
Bring the check. I forgot to tell about the first lady of the building and talk
That wasn't, you know what we were.
July 1st. Because, you know, we have
Sorry, can I get the person that's front and read us? Alright,
Thanks, thank you all. Y'all need me to call. Bye, Madam President. Thank you. She said, bye, and sis. Love you. Yeah, good. I have to.
That's too funny. Carolyn said that one of the girls in the softball, they took that point. She looked at me, she goes, "Are these chocolate?" Trying to find out.
God.
Hey, it was Hayes.
Yes. No, not yet. He sent me one bio, and he said he's trying to get the others. When do you want me to? Oh.
Actually, the one is I hopefully sent you the big guy. Well, then we'll get it.
Okay.
Because I know, Miss Warner.
That's the part I like of the board search, is the celebration part.
My grandson,
I know. I mean, throughout the entire state.
he's playing in Virginia right now.
That's awesome. I mean, I didn't realize that he was. You know,
He's a beautiful
pitcher.
Yeah, my granddaughter, she's junior, she's third best in Collier County.
Wow.
Softball.
Tennis is
That's fantastic.
That's all we do.
Yeah.
It's been so long ago
I mean, it's hard. These are tough athletes that do that. I can't do it. I'd die. Man, 40.
I feel the air now.
So now,
Played.
we're up to operations, aren't we?
David and I both. My husband and I both played French horn.
Yeah, that's all
And
that,
then I
that's,
told him how I
yeah.
I did that during marching.
Taking his P85, 88.
What page? No page. What is it about?
Softball. This is Cabell, man.
She's in here.
Big controversy.
Okay.
Because they're, they're trying to get out.
Well, you could tell me, we'll get in there.
I just mentioned,
Okay.
you know, it needs to be
Ask for,
clean.
ask for the, is there something wrong with it? Bad news?
She's very nice.
So where are we now?
She's gonna have to start marking pages.
Back.
Thank you.
Yes.
What do we have to do to get that? Every time we're
I'm
here,
gonna
we
tell
ask.
Carolyn,
Number the pages.
Carolyn,
I don't care if it's.
from now on, when you give us the agenda, can you number each page? Because when they say 1345, yeah,
All of
I
us.
take. I'm gonna take ownership. I've forgotten to.
that's all, that's okay. Carolyn, slap him later.
Here it is.
Okay.
You're forgiven.
Martin, Cabell, Midland, softball.
How far
coach.
back is it? 51? 50? Oh, wait a minute, here. Oh, so I got it.
Go on
Did
to
we
the
still
next
have
page.
next,
updates.
okay, wait a minute.
Almost next to the last.
Did I pass it? Or- Wait a minute, hold on. I passed it. I'll be right with you. He's,
Man, 40,000. It's a lot of money.
that's okay. We'll get it in there. We'll get it in there.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
Okay, we're ready to continue on with our meeting. Our next item on the agenda is the update on instruction and leadership services. Mr. Hardesty?
I believe actually it's Mr. Cunningham. I'm sorry, Mr. Cunningham and,
Oh,
Mr. Cunningham, is someone presenting with you? Okay, well, then the four of you, come on down.
If you're counting pages, show
Yeah,
page
and
8.
board members, if you, in your packet, there's a summer learning adventure handout
Yeah.
like this, and that's what they'll be going over here.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Mr. Bazin has the slide to put up on the screens, but we do have copies.
It's,
at
he
the
has
board.
copies, but it's also attached to the board agenda, so if he wants to pull it up on the website, he can pull it up on the website.
Okay. Well, it's only been a few minutes since I stood up here a little bit ago, but board members, Superintendent Sachs, Madam President, tonight we wanted to give you guys an update on how summer learning adventure has been going on in Cabell County schools. Mr. Bazin is going to put up the slides on the thing, but there was also a handout that I put in front of you on your desk today. That handout looks like this.
Maybe I don't have it.
Oh.
Sorry about that. So for the summer learning adventure at the high school level, we have 3 main sites and then 3 satellite sites. The first main site is at Cabell Midland High School, and the programs that we are currently working on at this time, currently at this moment is, next slide, is recovery programs. The recovery program that we traditionally have every summer is for students that have unfortunately failed a course or more, and they're trying to recover credits so that they can be promoted with their grade level and not be retained in the previous grade. And we call that traditional summer school that we traditionally have. Currently at the Cabell Midland site, we have about 110 students that have been actively participating in that. And we had about 170 that could qualify for it. And you're thinking, well, where's those other 50, 60? In our next session that starts on July 26th, which is our micro session, we have a little bit over 50 plus that have signed up at this time. So most of our students that needed to make up a credit or two at the Cabell Midland site have signed up for one session or another. The traditional summer school, as we talked about in our previous presentation, when we talked about summer programs, ends here on July 20th. Our other programming that hasn't started yet is our Enrichment Camp. That will start on July the 19th, and that for their work session, but the students start on July 21st. We have about 50 students at each site at Cabell Midland and Huntington High that have signed up. So we have, it's our first year, and a lot of the feedback that we have received is students that it's summertime, and they're high school students, and they haven't, it doesn't appeal to them as much as maybe at the younger ages for some of these enrichment camps. But this is our first year of trying it, and so it's a start, and I'm very pleased that we have at least started, and hopefully in the future we can have these programs in the future. But we have several different camps, ideas that are at each one of these camps. We also have the Climb Camp, which is a very important camp for our incoming ninth graders, and that is students that are going to be rising ninth graders, and they're going to come in 3 days early, August 4th through the 6th, and we have at both sites over 200 students that have signed up. Now, of course, we have classes of over 400. They have all summer to sign up, so it's not like they're limited and they're not going to be able to come. But we will have our freshman teachers there to greet 200 or 400. We would love to have 400, and we still have that out on our website for more students to sign up. I have possible driver's ed there. I'm going to not talk about that one just yet, and I'm going to go to our Huntington High site. At Huntington High, we had a little bit more need of students that needed one or more classes to move on to the next grade level. And currently, we have about 135 students that are actively coming to the Huntington High site. I came to Mr. Sachs, to Dr. Sachs and the cabinet and asked for some additional locations. And this is, a theme of sometimes the kids might not want to come to the Huntington High or the Cabell Midland site, but they might come to a community site. So I've reached out to some of our community groups like A.D. Lewis Center and some of our local elementaries like Guy and Dot and Central City, and we've added 3 additional sites at those 3 places so that we had community sites, and we staffed a teacher at each one of those, and we're currently having between 5 and 10 students that are showing up to each one of those each day. So if you add that into the 135 at the Huntington High site, and then an additional 15 to 20 kids, you're over 150 that are coming from the Huntington High to make up any failed credits they might have had in the past. That is our recovery programs at Huntington
Cunningham,
High.
I apologize.
No, I'm sorry.
I want to bring to attention how important what you just mentioned was, and how proud I am, quite frankly, of the work that Mr. Cunningham has done to make sure that the resources for these students, these at-risk students that are at risk of not graduating or falling further behind in their graduation status. When he came to me, I really do. I push my team very, very hard. I have very high expectations for everyone. And I will tell you that I push them to think outside the box and find non-traditional solutions to problems that we continue to face. And with the pandemic that we've had, looking at the challenges that we had for some of these students that were not able to come to Huntington High for whatever reason, but thinking about sites like A.D. Lewis where these students are going, or Guy and Dot, or what was the other site that you had mentioned over?
Central City Elementary.
Central City Elementary, in these communities. I was excited when Mr. Cunningham came to me. And Mr. Cunningham, how many students, I know you talked about how many were coming, but we actually have graduates.
Yeah, that was going to be my next sentence, but I'll go ahead.
That's the other thing I'm really proud of.
So to explain why we picked those 3 sites throughout Huntington, because Huntington was our greatest need of additional sites, was we made a heat map. We took every student that was a senior or a junior and looked at what neighborhoods in Huntington that they live closest, that they live in, and saw where the biggest 3 were. And then I asked Mr. Sachs for 3 more teachers, and he said, get 3 more teachers. I asked him for an extra counselor to call these kids. He said, get another counselor to call the kids. So he's been very helpful with that, and thanks, Drew, for the money too. So from there, we added an additional site. Currently, right now, and I know it's July 6th, and so we still have a little over a month left of summer programming for recovery programs. We have had 12 Huntington High students graduate and 4 Cabell Midland students graduate from summer programming. If we could triple that maybe, and this is where it starts to pick up speed, is this far in. The first month, they're just getting their feet wet and taking the classes. We've had 16 more graduate this summer so far from those additional sites.
I want to clap for that. Yay! Every kid counts. Every single one of those kids count. And I want them to know that we know that they can do it, and it's already happening. So I'm excited about that. So yay.
I will. I'm gonna add on to that, Ms. Bond. So one of the teachers that's teaching for us is Jeff Jones. He's a retired PE teacher, and he was an administrator at one time in the county. And Mr. Jones, he said, I only have 7 kids showing up every day. I said, and how many of those are seniors? He said 5. And I said, of those 5, if I could get 3 or 4 to graduate, every penny we pay you is worth it. Every penny we pay you is worth it. And Ms. Hill at A.D. Lewis has been outstanding to work with as a director of the A.D. Lewis Center. She's wonderful. She says, come on in, bring your kids. And so then after they get done with us, they go play sports, which is good for them. little school activity. Okay, so I'm going to finish up Cabell Midland there. Sorry we got off track there. At Cabell Midland, they're just like Huntington High. I'm sorry, to Huntington High, just like at Cabell Midland. We have about 50 plus students that have signed up for these enrichment camps. Hopefully we get some more. We still got a few more weeks to have some more students sign up. We actually were doing phone calls to students today. And their climb is just over 200 that have signed up. I think it's like 202, 203. But every day that rises. My daughter's one of those students, so that's one of them. And then at our Career Center site, this is where we have our Cte camps that are tailored to rising 6th and 7th graders, fifth and sixth graders, and then 7th and 8th graders. And those weeks are right now going on. So students that are rising into the 5th or 6th grade are going to that camp. Mr. Barnett declared to me, he goes, I don't want to give you a finished number because we're still enrolling students, but last week he was at about 170. And for his second session, which is a little bit older students, and you can see it tails off a little bit when they get a little older, 7th and 8th graders is 130 students. So, and those are enrichment camps too. And they're not for my grade level, they're more for my colleagues, my friends behind me, but it's to get them interested in our CTE programming. So when they do hit the 9th grade, they have seen some of what we have to offer. And if they've gone over several years, they got to see several of our programs for a week of camping. So the last one I have on there that I put a question mark next to is we were having a tough time finding a driver's ed teacher, and we had a posting that came down last week. And one of our driver's ed teachers, Mr. Mickey Grass, and I spoke last night for about an hour, and we think we got to figure it out where we can have a camp for 15 students. And this is a program that we've never done before with driver's ed. And what the State Department is opening up during the summer, because usually they don't have it during the summer, they don't let you to perform it, but they're letting us do it and at a reduced hours. And so I worked with Josh Grant from the West Virginia Department of Education on driver's ed, and it looks like we can do over a 3-week period 15 students. So we hopefully will get that word out from Mr. Flowers' department over the next few days and put it out on social media, and it'll be first come, first serve on those 15, and they have to have a driver's a permit. They already have to have a permit in their hand. That was from the State Department, not from Cabell County Schools. So we hope to have that, and we hope to have that up and running next week. And I think we'll fill those 15 spots pretty fast because parents want to save some money. I spoke a long time, and I apologize. I'm going to hand this to the next slide there. I spoke about some of this. This is some of our students that are currently working on recovery, and I've spoken about everything that we're doing at those sites. So I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Boggs now.
What does it stand for? I don't think it stands for anything other than climbing to the next grade level, maybe.
Okay, I want to talk briefly about middle schools. We've got we have 2 locations for our traditional or our summer, what we're calling summer readiness camp, and that's going to be at the on the left-hand side is the summer readiness camp at Huntington Middle School. And then over in the middle, that's going to be the middle school site. And what we really did is we have 2 sessions this summer. And the first session is actually going on right now. That's June 23rd through July 9th. And then we are running approximately about 100 students at Huntington Middle School right now. And then we're running about, I think, 90 students at Milton Middle School right now. When I say Huntington Middle, I'm actually referring to Huntington Middle students and Huntington East Middle School students. And then the Milton Middle location is actually housing Barbersville Middle students as well. So, and this is, again, not I'm not going to say traditional summer school, because in middle school we don't have credits. And the students have the classes that they take. They're required to pass certain classes, but we also are inviting any student that would like to attend this. And we are just focusing on specific power standards that the students lacked this past year. And we're doing some fun activities. We've got intramurals planned for the students. We've got field trips. We're going to Heritage Farm. And we're really trying to run it like a camp. and we're making it fun. And I think that that's telling because we started off with about 75 kids. They started telling friends, and then we added about 25 at Huntington Middle and added about 15 or 20 from the first day at Milton Middle School. So, and, you know, I know Dr. Sachs has actually visited the couple of the locations as well, and the kids really are having fun. It's not, and we told the kids, it's not a punishment. We would like to see them both sessions. They're only required to go to one. But again, the requirement is we want them to have fun and be able to really enjoy school, because the past year has been stressful on families. It's been stressful on teachers, and we appreciate our teachers that agreed to work the summer school. They're working hard. We want them to build those relationships with the students, and these students are really enjoying themselves, and they've got a lot of things planned for that. So I think right now we're running around 60 students per location for the second semester, but again, I talked to some students today. They said, can we come back the second session starting next week? And I said, you know, we're doing the same thing. They said, if you're doing the same thing, and we're coming back. So, but we are doing some different field trips and different things like that as well. We've got drones, Spheros. Dr. Sachs got to actually have a competition with one of the students. I think you lost, I lost as well.
Well, I beat Mr. Boggs, but the students did beat me. So,
yeah,
I was very impressed with the programming. I really wasn't sure what to expect. I mean, I know that we had sort of said, you know, think outside the box as it relates to this summer recovery for middle schools. But when I was talking with the students, I said, you know, what can we do to improve this? You know, and I think the kids really said that, you know, they loved it. They loved the STEAM activities. And I said, well, you know, what's the one thing that if we were to do it again, you wouldn't want to do? They're like, we love it all. And I'm going to tell you something. I mean, I was in ELA classes. I was in math classes. I was in science classes. I was in the STEAM and the computer science classes. And so I was very, very, I left really kind of charged, because I was just so excited to see how excited the students were, and the fact that they were, you know, they were going out and telling their friends, and their friends were coming. So it was very rewarding, and it's going to be exciting to see what we can do to ramp it up even again, more so next summer too.
Yeah, we're talking to some teachers today, and they had talked about, you know, hey, could we take them and go to the RCB Center downtown? Absolutely. You know, we'll get the buses, we'll take them down, RCBI, I'm sorry. Robert C. Byrd Institute, and do some technology stuff. Could we go to the Huntington Museum of Art? We want to be able to do that. We got them some different games to where they could do cornhole tournaments and different things, but we are focusing on the instruction as well, but we want them to have fun as they do it. So that's kind of what we would say is our summer readiness camp at Huntington Middle and Milton Middle. On the far right, and Dr. Sachs had really challenged us is thinking outside the box. We did the Visionary and STEM and Literacy Camp. We had about 88 kids sign up, and now I'll remind you, this is a week after school ended. The following week after school concluded, we had approximately 35 students show up for this. We had about 85 register, about 35 showed up for it, but I will tell you, they were doing CSI, crime scene investigation. They were doing Spheros, drones, a lot of things, and unfortunately, we had to actually cancel the last day. There was a holiday that fell in on that, and kids were saying, oh my gosh, you know, we really, they wanted to continue it. They wanted to continue it that day, and we've really figured that out going into next year, that we're going to how we can adapt that, and maybe even do that 2 or 3 times around the county, rather than holding it at just Huntington East Middle School. But it was open to all Cabell County students, but it was very successful with that, and I'll show you some pictures of that here in a minute. And the last thing that we're going to be doing is August 4th and 6th, and that is our Climb Institute. I don't know, you know, my own kids are in 6th grade right now, and last year going into middle school, that is very stressful for a lot of students going into 6th grade, to go from your nice, smaller elementary school, same teacher all day, to changing classes. This Climb Institute is going to be for all middle school, all incoming 6th grade students, to where they can get kind of a jump start. Locker combinations. I taught 6th grade. A locker is a stressful thing for a 6th grade student. That is a big deal. How to go to lunch. You know, what sports are available. It may not sound like much, but we've got some middle school teachers here. They know that they know how difficult that can be. at the beginning of the year. So that's something, and we're going to go over some instructional things. They can get their iPad and kind of get acclimated to the school prior to everyone else. So, Jeremy, care to go to the next slide, please? We've got some pictures of the Summer Readiness Camp that you've got here. I've already talked about that, but let you look at some of the pictures. Spiro's on the left-hand side. They're doing some basketball. Mr. Mann, you see him there. They're doing incentive programs with the students and competitions throughout the day. And then we're going to go on down to the next slide. Jeremy, you're going to see that's our Visionary STEM and Literacy Camp. You see the crime scene investigation set up on the right-hand side, and they were doing blood splatter analysis and stop motion and all kinds of different things. And we know how we need to adapt that. And I am really excited about doing that again next year. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. And I want to clarify, I didn't mean to misspeak when I said that there was a holiday. I just want to clarify that we had to cancel that last day, and the kids just wanted to do it, and we tried to be able to come up with an alternative date for that, but it just didn't work out for the teachers for that. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Giles to go ahead and talk about the elementary programs.
President.
Okay.
Mr. Boggs, a question real quick.
Yes.
before you-
Oh,
Mr.
Mr. Boggs, she's got a question
We have a
for you.
question for you from Mrs. Bond.
Just real quick, Mr. Cunningham had touched base for the high school level. The Climb Institute that they are doing for ninth graders is still open. So if parents have children, if they can still sign up. Is that true for this middle school level?
Absolutely.
It
Any
is,
of the Climb Institute, that registration is still open for that, and it's on the county website.
Okay.
And I will tell you this as well, we are not turning anyone away even for the Summer Readiness Camp. If they haven't registered for that and they want a safe place and something fun to do, we are taking those students. We're not turning any students away for any of
Excellent.
these.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, good evening. Just what Justin said. That's what we're doing at elementary. That'll make it easier. Okay, so we also have a summer learning adventure as well, and we have 3 locations for that. Village of Barbersville, Explorer Academy, and Southside. Village of Barbersville basically encompasses the whole east end of the county. We have close to 100 kids. At the time that I did this, it was 95. I think we're up to 98 now at Village of Barbersville. Explorer Academy basically takes Huntington East feeders. Any school that's feeding into Huntington East pretty much is at Explorer Academy. And then Southside encompasses, Explorer has about 40 students there. And then Southside encompasses basically Huntington Middle kids, feeders that would go into Huntington Middle, and I have about 90 kids there, students there. I will tell you that today was the first week of Camp Invention for that location, and I think about 30 more kids came for them today. So they had several more. So the last week of this first session has Camp Invention at Southside, and then we're going to do the same thing for Village of Barbersville and Explorer on their last week. Our sessions are the same as they are in the middle school, and I'll show you on the next page just some things that are going on in all of our camps. Spring Hill has their own little summer boost that they've been doing for years, so we left them alone, and they are working mostly with Spring Hill students. There's about 35 of them, and they just have one session that will actually end this Friday. And then we had our 2 weeks of Japanese camp, which had about 40 students in each one of their sessions. Jeremy? This next page is just kind of a combination of all the things we have going on there. You know, Japanese camp, of course, deals with, you know, all the pieces of, they are immersed into Japanese culture. And then our other camps, they're cooking, they're ironing, they're going on field trips. We're going, you know, cultural center to Barbersville Park. We've been collaborating with libraries, going to Heritage Farm. We're going to the Explorer has already set up to go to the water treatment plant. They're all doing math and reading activities as well as Project Lead the Way. I've seen beanstalks being made. I've seen they're creating moons. I've seen all kinds of things going on in there. Having scavenger hunts. They're having a really good time. Ours is basically, you know, they are trying to do some enrichment with math and reading, but they too are set up more like camp. And so trying to have lots of fun activities. So The symphony came as well, but there's just some activities that we have going on for elementary. Questions about elementary? And
Any
I'll let
questions? No
All
questions?
right. All right, and now I'll turn you over to Mrs. Scarberry for extended school year.
As everyone has already mentioned, from the high school to the middle school to the elementary, we have students who may have an IEP that are participating in the summer learning camps. We service personnel, interpreters, if they are needed, are provided in order for students to participate in those. We are also having extended school year at Village of Barbersville and Barbersville Middle School. At Village of Barbersville, we have pre-K through 5 that IEP teams have determined that these students need to come and receive services. And we have around 55 students. The last day for this will be July the 16th. Those students are working on critical skills. We have occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech, working on communication devices at both sites. At our Barbersville Middle School, it's the 6th grade through post-grad. We have around 40 students there. We also have an option of therapy only. So if an IEP team determines that we are just working on physical therapy, just working on occupational therapy, or just working on speech, we have those services where parents can either bring them to the developmental therapy center or they can bring them to the site, whichever site would be closer to them. So our students are participating in all of those camps. In recovery, we have special ed teachers who are working at those sites and service personnel to help them. And I'm the end, so are there any other questions?
Any questions? No questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good presentation. Okay. Our next item is an update on operations. Mr. Hardesty, you're going to give us that.
Good evening, Madam President. Is that on?
Yeah, just talk right into it.
I am going to give you an update on the operations portion and on the next portion as well. I'll kind of combine the two there. I do want to thank the board for the opportunity to work with the operations department. That started last week. However, I was out last week, but I came in today and met with many of them in that department, along with the current department. I will tell you, I'm very thankful. I feel very blessed. It's a great group of people to work with, very dedicated. They work hard. They're very knowledgeable, and I appreciate them. I do want us to remember Mr. McMillan. He's having some issues now, and Mr. Cooper. So if you'd remember both of them, I'd appreciate that.
You gotta go louder.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I will start my update
A little
now.
bit for me, anyway.
All
Yeah,
right.
a little bit louder.
So on the operations
There you
portion,
go.
I will begin just briefly with Salt Rock. You probably received a call out last week that we did because we're doing some air quality samples in there. We're expecting to get those samples back within the next few days. We'll be doing that again prior to the beginning of school. And so we're working on the humidity issues within the building. Barbersville Middle School, the gym floor, as you all know, that's going down. The floor itself is about 95% installed. They're working underneath the bleachers currently. They still have to, of course, finish the floor and put the striping on it. We have started stripping throughout the county with all of those jobs that were planned. Paving has also started around the county because the paving contract was on a previous board agenda, so that has started. The Spring Hill Roof project should begin next week, so that's ready to go. We've already installed a French drain on the Martha Playground to help the drainage there. At Southside, the wood mulch that was there has been replaced with rubber mulch on their playground. At Huntington Middle School, the lights have been installed along the sidewalk at Huntington Middle School. So that goes down 10th Avenue and around 2nd and 3rd Street, just around the corner there. Also, carpet projects have been started throughout the county where the carpet has been designated to be replaced this summer. Mr. Webb and I are working on the vehicles that the board has approved in the budget because our fleet certainly needs some updating. It's not a great time to purchase vehicles right now, but it's still a need, and we're working through that. We met some today and talked about it, and we're going to meet again tomorrow and see where we can go and what we can do for that. So That's it on the operations. I'll go ahead and do personnel. I'll be glad to answer any questions along the way. But we are still trying to clean up the reduction in force and transfer list in service and professional. And in our professional personnel department, we are down to 2 people on the reduction in force list. One is a half-time Spanish teacher, and the other is a pre-K teacher. We expect the pre-K teacher to be placed back or have a position. We're still waiting to see how that all transpires about the movement and things. But we expect at least that one to be cleaned up very soon. And the service personnel, we still have 4 aides, an ECAT, assigned support specialist, and 9 custodians on the RIF list. The 9 custodians were the extra custodians that we added because of COVID, the second wave of COVID positions we added. We are still trying to clean that up as best we can. We keep posting, and during the summer we have a lot of movement, but we still do have a few openings in the custodial department, so we know at least some of those will come off of there. So, does anyone have any questions?
Mr. Hardesty?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a timeline on the outside classroom with Martha?
I do not, but I would ask Mr. Webb. I believe he's here. I'd be glad to see if he has one, if he'd like to step down and help
the
us
curtains.
maybe. Pardon me?
And the curtains for the auditorium.
And the curtains.
Any other questions for Mr. Hardesty?
We've got Mr. Webb coming down to answer one
Oh,
for
he's-
Mr.
okay.
Parsons.
Sorry, Skip.
Not as tall as Mr. Hardesty. Still on my tiptoes. As far as the curtains, we're waiting for another quote. What's going on is Dave Thompson is going to give us the quote, and he's having a hard time catching up with Mr. Mize. I talked with Dave today, and he said, well, I left messages, and I said, he's at Village of Barbersville doing the summer program, so you can catch him over there. So he was going to try to hook up with him later this afternoon or tomorrow morning. All he wants to know is what he's basically looking for in the curtains. The reason we want to give Mr. Thompson that opportunity is that he has theatrical quality curtains that was not used in a job, and he is willing to give us those curtains at a discounted rate, which is very high quality curtains. So I'd like to give him an opportunity to give us a bid, and he thinks he can do that. But he wants to meet with Mr. Mize to get exactly what he wants. If he wants side curtains and skirts and everything, a lot more heavier and durable than what we had actually got 2 quotes from previous people. The outdoor theater, Mr. Maynard was looking at that for us, Wayne Maynard. Mr. Maynard has just today completed the high lawn, moving the sunshade over from the old high lawn to the pre-K because of a special needs student. He has several jobs that he is actually doing a lot of the outdoor playground, outdoor classrooms in Kanawha County. So he is going to try to get back with me next week when he gets back in town from Kanawha County to give us an update. He is looking at different structural designs that possibly we could use or incorporate into the outdoor theater or classroom.
Thank you, Mr. Hardesty. Mr. Webb.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Our next item is district support employee relations.
Actually, Mr. Hardesty's already provided that update. If you're okay with I'll go ahead and do my superintendent's update.
You go right ahead.
Perfect. Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, board members, it is so exciting to be able to start the new academic year. This being our first board meeting together for school year 21-22. Hard to believe, isn't it? Yeah. But as Mr. Baisden is actually driving the presentation for the public today, so thank you, Mr. Baisden. We'll go ahead and go to the first slide. As you heard from our phenomenal executive directors, summer learning adventures are in full swing, and they gave you an overview of the fact that the first session is coming to an end this week, and session two starts next week, and then of course our Cte Summer Camp is in full swing this week. I've made my rounds to several of the camps last week, and I was just in awe of the learning and the excitement going on. And I was, to be honest with you, I am so proud of our students that have chosen to take on this opportunity, because it's an exciting time for them. But I would be remiss if I didn't say how much the quality of what we're doing. I'm giving props to our executive directors and our district leaders who have really tried to push to make these things happen, but it would not happen if it wasn't for the dedicated teachers and service personnel who are making sure that these activities are going on without a hitch. And I was able to talk with some of those folks last week. I was able to talk to some of our food service staff who've been helping prepare meals across the district. I was able to talk to some of our teachers about what can we do to make it better. Because, I would be remiss if I did not say people are tired, and it has been a real team effort to recruit employees to take on these summer positions, because what we normally have done is ramped up times 10. And so you take that coupled with people are just sort of exhausted. They would like to be able to have a little bit of a break. So we've had to think of some creative ways to, post, session one positions and then session two positions. And Mr. Hardesty, Miss Smith, Mr. Tackett have been working so hard. And we still have a shortage. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We have a shortage of staff to fill these positions, specifically, bus drivers. We're struggling to get bus drivers to take on some of our field trip runs, for example. We're struggling to get custodians to fill some of our summer school, just to do custodial service in our summer school classrooms, because a lot of people have taken on some of the summer jobs where there's painting and floor stripping. And so I think as we think about how we're going to improve in the future, it's also how can we have that continuity of service so that we have the appropriate staffing to be able to put on these high quality programs, but we don't sacrifice some of the summer work that we also have to do. So I think that it's a challenge that we're going to have to look at, but it's something that we're going to be faced with, I think, from here on out, because I think robust summer learning programs are going to be here to stay, quite frankly. I think it's something that we need to do. I think it's a service that we need to provide our students and our families, and it's important for our children. And so we'll advance the slide. But I think it's really important to note that we've made it. We made it through the last school year, and we are ready for that new chapter in the new school year, which is approaching. We have professional learning scheduled through the month of July. We have our Principals Leadership Institute scheduled for August 3rd through the 5th. And then, of course, our 200-day employees return on August 11th. And then the first day for students is August 18th. So those days are quickly approaching, and I want you to know that our district team, our principals, our service personnel, we are all working in tandem to get to those dates, and I am just so appreciative of everything everybody's doing, and I mean truly stepping up. I want to make the board also aware that we have we'll go and advance the slide there. We have a new district website and school websites out. If you go to cabellschools.com, you'll see a whole brand new look. And while we have a couple little things to work out with some of the links and those sort of things, it is really, I'm really proud of it. I think it's a very, very user-friendly website. A lot of the information is easy to find. But our goal was very simple, is to create a school district where our schools, communities, and families work better together through communication. As I said, it's user-friendly. It's going to showcase our Storytellers League and our district stories. And soon, what we will have on that site, on our school district page, as well as our school websites, it's called a TalkBot, which is a little feature that will be on the website. So when you go on there and you are looking for information and you can't find it, you literally type in, like you're chatting with somebody, you'll type in a question, and it will answer your question for you, and if it doesn't have the answer, it's going to email one of our staff members that's the expert in that area so that they can respond to you. And of course, we have to set up, the response time for something like that might be within 24 hours, but it's designed to get the information that you're looking for. So we're really excited about this and it's called Let's Talk, but that's the TalkBot feature. We also have rolled out a new automated calling system. The last system gave us a lot of problems. Midnight phone calls sometimes, no fault of our own, and so we do apologize to our families. But with our new calling system, it's a lot easier to use, and it's a lot less trouble, we think. And so the quality is definitely there. And of course, I've shared the phone number, so you know that that is a Cabell County Schools number. We'll go ahead and advance our slide here. I'm also very proud to announce again, we did a press release last week, but we have a new program in Cabell County. It's called the Cabell Virtual Learning Academy. And the Cabell Virtual Learning Academy is Cabell County's virtual school. And so beginning with the 21-22 school year, our school district will be offering an off-campus virtual learning option. And it's important to note that registration is now open for the academy. And you can go onto our new website and find that access. But what's important to know about this is a public school program offering families that comprehensive learning option that provides high-quality education from the comfort of the child's home. And it is offered to students in kindergarten through 12th grade. I'll advance the slide a little bit there, please. One slide there. The program will provide live online instruction from state-certified teachers for K through 12. But what's really special about this is we've taken what we've learned from the pandemic and what we've learned through going to remote learning and virtual learning throughout the school year. But I'm really excited about the fact that students in grades K through 8 will receive instruction from state-certified Cabell County school teachers. And that's live instruction, by the way. That's not like the teacher checks in with an email. That's live instruction from a Cabell County school teacher. Core classes for students in grades 6 through 8 will be taught by Cabell County teachers, and related arts will be provided by the West Virginia Learns platform just for those related arts classes. As we grow with our virtual learning and enrollment increases, we may look at modifying that, but that's how we're designing it the first year. And then students in grades 9 through 12 will receive their instruction from West Virginia certified teachers utilizing that West Virginia virtual school platform, which is what they're used to doing. So still very, very robust, but we're really excited about having the Cabell County teachers teaching those grades K through 8. It's also important to note that all virtual learning students will also receive an Apple Learning device because they're just like every other student in Cabell County receives a device. We'll go another slide. Full-time virtual students can expect to follow the Cabell County school year calendar. They will have access to a school counselor. They will also receive special education services that will be provided as deemed appropriate through their IEP meeting. Students may also attend activities and participate in athletics for their zone schools through the Cabell County Virtual Academy. All virtual learning students will receive report cards as well. The courses are all fully accredited. And then, of course, seniors that meet the graduation requirements also get to participate in their graduation ceremony from their home high school. And one of the things is that this is a program that is designed not necessarily as a response to the pandemic, but it's a response to one of the things is that we have students that for whatever reason have had the traditional school model hasn't worked for them, so they've gone to home education, and the home education experience may be something that the family would like to be able to have some more resources. Well, that's exactly what this program does. It provides more resources for those home education students by providing them with a certified teacher, the structure throughout their school day, and then, of course, a device, and the resources like a counselor, like special education services. So, I was talking with, I think it was Mr. Boggs earlier today, and we've already had several students that have actually registered because they're having health issues, and their health issues with their doctor's appointments keep them away from the school building for long periods of time. So this program provides them the flexibility because they have a certified teacher working with them. So again, I think that one of the things we've learned from the pandemic is we have to be able to provide opportunities for our families. along with rigorous expectations, and that's what this program does. So I know we're hiring virtual school teachers as we speak, and Mr. Thacker, who is our virtual school and summer school coordinator, has been very, very hard at work building this program along with our other district leaders to make sure that we have a program that we can all be proud of. So again, the Virtual Learning Academy registration is open, and so I encourage anybody that is interested in participating to reach out to Mr. Thacker and register. Next slide. I want to update you on our summer food service program. Mr. Austin, who is with us today, has been working very, very hard in his new position in probably one of the most robust summer food programs we've had, not counting last summer, obviously with the pandemic, but we've basically continued what we were doing last year. And I think that one of the takeaways is we've learned also how to make it a little bit more efficient. But we're serving, I think it was something like about around 7,500 meals per day, which is tremendous. So up to date, we've served nearly 120,000 meals this summer across 46 sites and from 12 kitchens. So just as I mentioned, we could not have the quality programming that we wanted this summer if it hadn't have been for our dedicated employees. Our food service staff continues to step up. It has been a little bit difficult getting some of those kitchens staffed, but we're making it work, and Mr. Austin is going full steam ahead, and so we appreciate that. Of course, the pictures you see there are actually from our Cte Camp today, and I was just showcasing that because those are our future chefs, and so it was nice to see them learning about the culinary arts. Want to also update the board members. We have some office renovations that will soon be sort of getting kicked off here at the district office, the communications office, and then my office. Renovations for the studio, or for a television recording studio for professional development and video messaging. This is because of a grant that was received from the West Virginia Department of Education for studio production. And what will be included in this new set is an interview set, so we can sit down with someone that may have expertise in a certain area like counseling or social services or nutrition. I think it's kind of cool. We might be able to do like a little cooking show for families to show a parent how they can engage with their child, in the kitchen at home and tie in learning activities. But we'll be able to have a green screen and the ability to host guests for our family and community engagement initiatives. Again, that's through a grant that we've received from Department of Education. And then in the superintendent's office, we're moving the conference room and the office assistant to improve the visitor experience. So when they come to meet, whether it be with our leadership team or in my office, that there's a division where the conference room is and where the waiting room is. And so the walls will be soundproof. There'll be some new carpet and some furniture updates. The bids for this open up this week, and I'll keep the board updated on it so that you all are completely in the loop and know what's going on. At this time, board members, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer anything.
Any questions for Dr. Sachs? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the next part of our agenda, and that is contracts, policies, and other items.
Delegations to be heard.
Do what?
Delegations to be, no delegations.
Delegations.
Okay, approval of contract for Apple Hardware Services. Second reading, contracts. Is there anything anyone wants to pull out of the 3000 series that you want to discuss? Then, hearing none, I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the 3000 series as recommended.
I make a motion to accept the 3000 series.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Parsons, second by Mrs. Smalley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's been approved. Item 4 is our financial items, and I see there is nothing there, Mr. Rodkin, tonight, so that takes care of that. Under the 5000 series, is there anything in that series that anyone wants to discuss?
5,014P,
5,000, what is it?
14P.
You want to go executive?
The item will be P8588,
Give me the first five.
5014P is employees. Then,
Okay.
then the next one, it will be P8588.
So you've got two there?
No, just one. It's
Just the one?
Same thing.
Okay, we didn't find that on mine. Okay, do you want an executive session, Mr. Parsons?
Yes.
Madam President, I apologize. If there's any other positions that we'd want to talk about, we just want to make sure we list those.
Yes, is there
And
any?
I think there might be, so.
I have.
Do you have one, Mrs. Bond?
It's under 5002, the P, it is 5313. I have 4 total. Do you want me to list all of those?
If you just want to,
numbers?
yeah, that'd be fine.
Is that how I need to do it?
Sure.
5313, 5311, 5312, and 5310
Okay.
for me.
Mrs. Smalley, do you have any?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we just have the, Mrs. Bond and, okay, I'll need a motion to go in executive session.
I make a motion, we go into executive session.
Mrs. Bond moves.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Shaw seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're in executive session.
Was that right? We need to say each individual, like, item number
so long.
It's cold.
My feet. I need a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Parsons, seconded by Mrs. Smalley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're back in session. We're on the 5,000 series. Are we ready to vote on that series? And if we are, I need a motion.
Make a motion to accept the 5,000 series.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Parsons, second by Mrs. Smalley, that we approve the 5,000 series. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're down to.
Madam President, I'm sorry, can I just recognize a few people in the audience real quick?
Oh, yes.
Okay, wonderful. I want to recognize, do I see her here? Oh, there she is. I want to congratulate Dr. Leanne Porter for earning the new assistant principal at Huntington East. And I also see that we also have Mr. Ofield, who is the new assistant principal at Barbersville Middle School. Congratulations.
Oh, very good. Congratulations to both of you. Okay, and do we have a new resource officer?
He's not on how new he is. There you go.
Oh, are you working at it? Okay. Well, stick around because we may need you. Okay. Okay, item 6, special board items. Is there anything on that? Okay, need a motion. Don't need a motion? Okay. Item 7, update on current legal issues.
Madam President, I have just 2 very quick things to go over.
Better be quick.
I promise you, they'll be very, very quick. Yep.
You don't have anything.
No, ma'am, you talk to me.
Go ahead.
Okay. Would you like to go into executive session?
Do you?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Just for 2, I have 2 items that I'd like to discuss with the board. Yes, I'm sorry.
Back we go.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Need a
But they'll
motion.
be quick.
Motion to go back into executive session.
Second. Moved by Mr. Parsons, second by Mrs. Smalley. Go back into executive session. Okay.
out of executive session.
As Mr. Parsons moves.
I second.
Mrs. Smalley seconds. All those in favor of coming out of executive session signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Mrs. Bond, do you have one thing you want to say?
Yes, and I'll make it very quick.
Okay.
If there are any parents listening, I just want to encourage you and to remind you that if you have an upcoming sixth grader or an upcoming ninth grader, through August 4th through August 6th, we still have the Climb Institute, which allows your child to see what school's going to be like, help them adjust to either middle school or to high school. That is still open, and you can register your student on our new website that is supposedly more user-friendly at cabellschools.com.
Okay, well, thank you, Mrs. Bond. If there's no other business to come before this board, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Moved by Mr. Parsons. See, I can't talk, I'm so cold.
Second motion.
Seconded by Mr. Shaw. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.